Okay. Yeah, we don't need to say hello. Okay, so we are learning how to solve rational equations. Okay, I will tell you, you did this last year in Algebra 2. So, no, I'm not. Solving a rational equation, this, 3 steps. Okay? Rational equation means I'm going to have fractions. So what don't we like about the fraction? The denominator. So what are we going to do? Multiply the whole equation by the LCD. Now that might need a little bit of review, but what should happen by doing this is your denominators go away. So after you do step 1, you should just have a normal equation. You solve it. Now it could be linear, it could be x squared, it could be x cubed, but the likelihood of that in this class is probably pretty slim. You need to make sure you check for extraneous solutions because we started with fractions. And what can we not have with fractions? Zeros. Zeros where? In the denominator. So when I say check for extraneous solutions, really what you're checking for is 0 in your denominator. Because if it does equal 0 in the denominator, what should you do with that answer that you got? Sure, kill it, cross it off. All right? We good with that? Okay, so it's just looking at some examples. Now, again, if you I know I always say this, remember like Algebra 2, but if we remember, this was in Algebra 2, like what we did is we said, you need your LCD. Now, these are the things I told you about LCD. You need everything, but you don't repeat things, and an x is different than x like plus 2. Do you remember that? No. Okay, so you look at your denominators. What's your LCD that's going to get rid of those denominators? X. So I am going to multiply the whole equation, both sides. This is another thing that I think everybody gets and everybody thinks it's easy, and then come time for the quiz, everybody misses them. So if I do this times this, I get x squared. If I do this times 3 over x, what's going to happen? This x crosses out that x, I just get 3. If I take x times 4 over 1, I get 4x. I need to think of what type of equation I have. If it's linear, I'm getting x on the side by itself. If it's x squared, I'm going to do something over there. Like if I can't factor, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. I would think those would be my 2 choices. I'm going to try to factor, so I'm going to bring this over, right? X squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Will that factor? Minus and minus. So that means your answers are x equals 3, x equals 1. Exactly, and all you have to, like, I don't go and check I'm honest, I don't. The only thing that I do is check, would putting that in the denominator give me 0? No, but if this would have been x minus 1 in the denominator, would putting in 1 give me 0? So then I would have to cross it off. These work. I'm good. So, let's look at this one. Okay, so in finding your LCD, make sure all your denominators are simplified. So obviously that is simplified, x minus 1. X minus 3 is simplified. This factors as x minus 3, x minus 1. So what do I need for my LCD? I need everything, but I don't repeat things. Don't say that x squared minus 4x plus 3 is x squared minus 4x plus 3 is this. You already have it. So you would need x minus 1, x minus 3. So I take that, I put it over 1 just so that you guys see the canceling out. And I'm going slow. I'm not going to do it. So don't distribute and tell me what you're going to have. When I do this times the first term, what would I be left with? 2x and x minus 3. You didn't listen to me. I said I wasn't going to distribute. I'm going slow so you can see it. This times this, what's going to happen? You're going to have those cancel. So 1 times x minus 1. And then over there, what's going to cancel out? They both cancel out, and I get 2. I have an equation to solve. So 2x squared minus 6x plus 1x minus 1. Can I subtract the 2 over just because I know that I'm gonna? So I could do that. You see what I'm doing, making it equal to 0. Follow that? I just distributed. So I have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. There's going to be some people in here that do the quadratic formula. There's going to be some people that in here that factor. Does it matter? I beg to differ. 2xx, it does factor. So I get negative a half and positive 3. But, I mean, again, I want you guys to realize that some of you, I know it doesn't matter that you have issues with that. Do the quadratic formula. What is it? 4 times, it's like 25 minus 24 over 4. So it's 5 plus or minus 1. And it still gives you those same answers. So as you guys are saying, you go back and check. Just in there. If I put 3 in there, it would be extraneous. My only answer is x equals negative 1/2. Just with this one, just to get started, please, I'm sorry, but yes. This is just one that I sort of see people mess up because in finding their LCD, they forget what they can do with x squared plus 2x. I mean, you don't want to use x plus 2 and that. You factor this and you get x plus 2. So what is that LCD going to be? X and x plus 2. This x will not get rid of an x that's all by itself. So if I then took x plus 2 over 1, I mean, these can get more in depth. What happens when I do this times the first thing? I get x plus 2, x minus 3, that I would have to FOIL out. Those cancel, and I get plus 3x. Then when I do this, I just get 6. And I mean, remember, because there could be a number over there, Obviously, that is 0. So then I would do it out. X squared minus x minus 6 plus 3x plus 6. X squared plus 2x equals 0. I can finish this really quick. What would that be then? X plus 2. So then what are your 0 and negative 2? Do either of them work? No solution. Okay? You have bookwork, yes. All right, so the homework. The homework is, nope. Probably should, but I don't. So actually, I'm giving you the odds. So then, really, what you can do, you can check them. Do not, if you come in and bring me a piece of paper with just the answers, and I yell at you, Alexa, why do you do that and not show your work? Why don't you be like the people in 7th period that show all their work?